One of the really hard things for me was seeing all of my friends having babies at the time when really I wanted to have them, and I was just struggling and couldn't. It was just horrid, and I used to go to bed thinking about it, and I woke up thinking about it. And to be fair, I think I've always been a little bit OCD. I think, I could go back to Easter when I was a kid, and I always had to have the really tiny chocolate eggs that were filled with toffee, and then the ones that were filled with like the Cadbury's little mini egg thing, and then the hard little eggs, and then I had to have certain big eggs, and it never felt like Easter, or Easter was never right if I didn't have the right amount of eggs. I know it sounds really weird, but yeah, I think it kind of, it's understanding and managing, isn't it, your own mental health needs. And I think, yeah, I have got a little bit of OCD, and I've also got FOMO now, which is the fear of missing out. And I think because of Facebook, everybody's having perfect lives. They're not really, but it looks that way, doesn't it? And you kind of see what everybody's doing, and it makes you realise that, oh, maybe I'm just not doing enough, I need to do more. I don't think any of that's healthy. I think the thing here is that we recognise our signs and symptoms, and we learn to manage them. And if we can do that, then I think half the battle is won. It was at this stage that I started to withdraw. I was starting to go through the motions, but with no emotions. I was stepping back from friends and family and withdrawing more and more. I felt empty inside. Nobody understood me. But there was a really good reason for this. I'd become good at hiding it all. I just felt like everybody wanted the happy-go-lucky Sandra, and I couldn't be that person anymore. I'd lost her. She'd gone. She wasn't there anymore. So I replaced that person with a really good actress. And the more I did this, the more I isolated myself from everybody. What I really needed was to be able to talk to somebody. But at that stage in my life, I had really big trust issues. And here's a few examples of why I didn't trust anyone. Empathy and sympathy are two very different things. And I felt that if you haven't lived through something similar, then you'll never, ever understand this. My own GP and the NHS were absolutely fantastic, and I really couldn't fault them. However, my GP did say to me after I'd had my third miscarriage, you know what, Sandra, you really need to concentrate on the child that you've got. And it was at that stage that I just felt even more alone and isolated. Even the doctor didn't understand. The doctor, of all people. Now, don't get me wrong, there was another GP in that practice that just said, you need to keep trying, don't have breaks, just keep on trying, and eventually it will happen. That was the doctor that I concentrated all my efforts on. And the reason I did that was because he was on my side. And if you're not on my side, you're out. That's how I felt. That was it. Simple as that. There was another occasion that I was sitting at Harewood House, and I was waiting for the hospital to give me a call. It was a really sad day for me. I was going to get the call yet again. They were testing my bloods, and I would either have a viable pregnancy or I wouldn't. So I had a lot of mixed emotions going on that day. And an acquaintance, somebody that I knew wasn't a great friend, I confided in them. I just needed somebody to talk to. And it just so happens that this somebody just said the wrong thing. And it didn't help. I spiralled into an even darker place. She actually said to me, gosh, Sandra, don't you think you've already got a child that really, at your age, you should just give it up? Blimey. Woman to woman, and that's what was said. It's a good job I was a strong person and I didn't give up at this stage. After 3 failed pregnancies, 3 miscarriages, I guess my husband was right to have concerns about my health, my mental state and my well-being, and he didn't want to lose me. The pressure was really on him because he felt that if he carried on down this route, these possible ectopics that I'd had, miscarriages, might just kill me. So he started to ask the question, should we just stop all of this? And this was when I realised how low I'd really become, because this is what I said to him. I said, if you stop now, then I'm dead. I'm dead already. So if you pull the plug, I won't be able to keep going. I never said I'd commit suicide. I never said I'd end it. But deep down, I'd come to the end of the road. Couldn't just keep going on like that. Those emotions and those feelings. Bearing in mind, this was an 8-year roller coaster of mixed emotions and sadness and gloom and doom. And I'd changed completely, and I couldn't see a way out of this. I often hear people say, when people talk about committing suicide, they're just crying wolf, and they're the sort of people that will never do it. That statement cannot be more wrong. When people confide in you and say that they're almost at the point of committing suicide, this is the time when we need to take that statement very seriously. When they do talk about it, they do need your help. It's important that we all recognise a genuine cry for help.